51 is a land of much intrigue, and with photos being absolutely forbidden in the region, it was a task and a half finding evidence for today. We've got some buildings going missing, aerial frames, military planes, and more. So let's get into it before the men in black come for all of us. Back in 2020, a Google Earth user located satellite images of what appeared to be a hidden entrance on a mountain slope that supposedly led to the most infamous secret base in the world. Yeah, Area 51, I know. He shared images that were taken in the same area during the years, including an image from 1998 in which the entrance and the roads leading to it do not appear. In a video published on the YouTube channel Finding UFO, two parking lots leading to the foothills of the mountain can be seen. One of them appears to be located near an entrance leading into a tunnel carved into the mountain. You're looking uphill, and then the road hits a dead end and several cars appear to be parking there. The satellite images show the same location from the years 2013, 2010, and 2005, while the image from 1998 is bare and doesn't include any of the buildings or roads that appear on the newer images. The user who found and published the images, which have since created a buzz on social media, believes they show the entrance to the secret US Air Force Base, this closed military area. Could be worth checking out if you're brave. In 2017, determined alien hunters Tim and Tracy Doyle embarked on the 8,000-foot high hike to the top of Tikaboo Peak to capture photographs and video footage of this elusive area. The pair, who run the YouTube channel UFO Seekers, had to use a super long distance lens to capture these never before seen images from 25 miles east of the site. What's all this hubbub about Area 51? Well, in 2013, the CIA acknowledged Area 51's exact location in Nevada, near Groom Lake, in response to a Freedom of Information request. This little strip of wasteland in the Mojave Desert, which has been in military hands since before the big mass extinction event from years ago, had never really previously been pinpointed. Before 2013, the very existence of Area 51 was redacted from all requests for information to the media and UFO hunters alike. It was President Obama who lifted the lid on this most private part of the US when he became the first president to acknowledge it by name in a speech. That's how elusive this thing is. In the audience at the time was the actress Shirley MacLaine, who was a longtime believer in alien life. Sure, this was tantalizing, but it did nothing to explain the wall of silence that existed before. Eyewitnesses in the area have regularly claimed to see UFOs twisting and turning in the skies over the base. They claim scientists working for the military area examine and recreate alien spacecrafts, and this is where you find those aliens. So that's why we've got all this hubbub today and why these photos were so hard to find. Turns out an entire building quietly vanished from this area back in 2020. So before and after photographs of the top secret military base in the desert show a large hangar has gone poof. The mystery around the site has sparked a lot of alien UFO rumors because, well, nobody really talks about it, so we don't know what that building was, but for it to go poof is kinda concerning. Long-range photographs captured by private pilot Gabe Zeifman offer a rare insight into the layout of one of the most mysterious landmarks in the entire world. This pilot had the very rare permission to fly along the border of the base, despite the airspace over Area 51 being tightly restricted. And by that I mean like forbidden, like you will come down by force. He has flown over the area 3 times, which enabled him to capture some curious changes at the site. Well, this is according to the Sun. In one of these photos, taken in April of 2020, there was a new hangar that appeared to be under construction at one part of the site. But then, just months later, the structure with a triangular sloped roof went poof. It vanished. It's gone. The second photo, taken in July, shows a void at the site, where the perhaps temporary hangar once stood. So what was that hangar used for? So Zeifman, who is an air traffic controller, he records all of his flights with a GoPro camera, and can be heard in his footage asking permission to fly along the border of the airspace. And he took these incredible photos and other top secret installations on the area and range after receiving permission to fly through the airspace. So like, we've got the permission for these photos, but it's just bonkers. He took the images while flying a Cessna 150, and he got permission from the air traffic controllers because it was a cold weekend. So there was no military flights taking place, and they were like, okay, yeah, good luck, but don't get too close. He told Mystery Wire that he was incredibly careful during his flights not to cross the line because that area, Area 51, it is the most heavily restricted airspace in the entire world. He mentioned to publications that passing into the airspace would land him in serious hot water. Like, he didn't think it would be deadly. Like, you know, it's like, oh, it's not gonna be dramatic, they're not gonna bring you down, but like, nobody's lived to tell that tale. In an interview he did about the first time he flew over the airspace, he said he saw nothing of interest, but he added it was thrilling to have such a close encounter with, you know, a famed mystery spot. He's like, I'm not really seeing any activity, it's just the runways and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. Just seeing that, you know, the place that everybody knows about, talks about, but you can't really see, and yeah, that is really cool. Hey pal, if you're going up again, want a passenger? This next aerial photo might have actually been the first ever photo captured on record of Area 51, since it claims to be from 1968. But did you actually know the property wasn't always as heavily guarded as it is now? In the summer and fall of 1957, a series of atmospheric nuclear tests called Operation Plumbub were conducted above ground at the area. So it was just like a little bit outside, but still. So 29 explosions were set off, while tests were conducted on troop readiness, accidental detonations, and the effects of flying debris on living targets. This is all according to documents declassified by the Department of Energy that is detailed in a lot of different books. During the explosions, security officer Richard Mingus stood guard outside many of the weapons testing sites, including one with the largest atmospheric device that has ever exploded in the US. So we got a quote. The explosive goes off. Richard Mingus is at ground zero, safe away in a bunker somewhere, and suddenly somebody realizes, my god, Area 51 is unsecured. And so they send Richard through ground zero 45 minutes to an hour after this nuclear device has exploded so he can get to Area 51 to guard the gate. Mingus did survive, as did many other atomic veterans who stood very close to ground zero during other tests. Turns out you can absolutely drive through an atmospheric test and not be affected. Richard also stood guard at a test of a subparcel of Area 51 during another dirty explosive test. So if anybody watching this has a time machine, now you know the perfect time to go back to and break into Area 51 for answers. And finally for today, not a lot of aircrafts have breached that fun little barrier, but the short-lived, still loved A-12 Oxcart is quite the plane. Yes, history time, folks. In fact, the A-12, which started flying in 1963, still holds the record for air-breathing, jet-piloted aircraft. The predecessor to the SR-71 Blackbird, this plane was built for strategic high-altitude recon stuff. The A-12 was shorter and lighter than the SR-71, but it was faster, meant to outrun enemy air defenses and bring back crucial imagery intelligence data. And where was it built? Area 51. So we've got pictures of it today. Also, I should mention the SR-71 featured a considerably longer range, which led to the A-12's retirement in 1968. So a man named Thornton T.D. Barnes worked on the A-12 project at Area 51 in Nevada. Today, Barnes is the president of Roadrunners International, which is an association of Area 51 veterans, and the author of books on Area 51 and the secret work done there. So he recently posted declassified images of radar cross-section testing on a full-size wooden mock-up of the A-12, which were taken inside of Area 51. So we've got those photos for you today, which so cool. So the A-12 was the precursor of the famed SR-71 Blackbird. Unlike the later USAF YF-12A and SR-71, the Oxcart was a single-seat aircraft, with the exception of one two-seat trainer version of the A-12, which was nicknamed the Titanium Goose. Mr. Barnes' photos include a look at the A-12 radar cross-section testing model, and it's just kinda neat. The aircraft mock-up could be turned and angled to allow the radar sets to view it at different altitudes, while engineers measured its radar return or radar cross-section, which is the amount of radar energy reflected back to a radar receiver from a transmitter. RCS is a critical engineering element for low observable or stealth aircrafts. The smaller the radar cross-section, the more difficult it is to detect the aircraft. Did you know there's actually been a large amount of interesting plane stuff that we can credit back to Area 51? Did y'all ever hear about the Aurora? It was a rumored 1980s American spy plane, and the existence of which has never been definitively proved. There is absolutely no substantial evidence that it was ever built or flown. Why? Because the government has consistently denied it was ever built. But high-tech propulsion systems have been proposed for a while as an explanation for mysterious, unexplained gaps in military budgets. In February of 1994, Area 51 enthusiast Chuck Clark claimed to have filmed the Aurora taking off from this facility, but his footage is not recognized by anybody in a position of authority. But the 2013 official report on Area 51 revealed that it was the location of the testing of U-2 spy planes for surveillance during the Cold War. Details revealed a lot of missions that took place here. Sightings occurred of this plane more often during early evening hours because why not? Good stealthy time. Pretty interesting. And that's it for me once again, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident ookie spooky girly. See y'all next time, you lovely spooky people.